3, 2. Hello, everybody. This is your captain speaking, and I'm here with Yu-Gi-Leoh again. We're coming at you with episode 2 of our podcast, whose name I've forgotten. What did I call it? Casually Competitive. That's what I called it. It's been a long week, man. It's been a long year.
It feels like 10 years.
It feels like 10 years crammed into 1 year. All right. So we're coming at you with a couple of things. We're going to do a little bit of ban list review. I know it's been a long while past, but some things happened, and we were going to do it the week after the ban list dropped, but I had some personal stuff and what have you. So we're going to do it a little bit now. Then we're going to do... You wanted to do something else that I've forgotten about already because I'm terrible.
We're going to talk about the elitist attitude.
Yes, that. Well, there was one thing else. Maybe we'll remember it as we go on.
Yeah.
All right, so first off, we were right.
Yeah, we were right about a lot of it.
We were right about a lot of it.
Some of them were like very obvious, like Block Dragon being a problem.
Block Dragon, yeah.
And as a result, Emancipator might be the best deck ever created never to play in an event.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still good, but it's just not, like, repeatable. You don't get the same 3 cards, the same every single turn. And not just on your own, opponents, too. Like, Block Dragon was so good. It needed to go for a long time.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
About Emancipator, not about Block Dragon.
Yeah. Because Emancipator is a really cool concept. The mining for rocks was a really cool kind of thing. So you excavated stuff and you got one back, and it was kind of a cool thing. But Researcher was insane, Analyzer was insane, and it just special summoned themselves. And I don't want to talk about it.
Too much.
Yeah, and then just being able to add extender after extend. It was all the tuners, and then it was Block Dragon, and then 37 extenders, and that was the deck, which we're kind of seeing a lot of right now with meta.
Absolutely.
It's because hand traps are the way of the format.
Yep, 14.
Isn't it great?
Speaking of hand traps, also up on the chopping block was Called by the Grave, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
This is the second time it's been on the list, and both times people were like, why?
You can play 15 hand traps. You can have 1 card to stop them. Seems legit.
I mean, hopefully we get cross-out Designator in, like, Genesis Impact or something.
I feel that this just encourages more hand trap play, because now the cards that want to use cross-out have to use hand traps.
Yeah.
So...
And instead of playing 15 hand traps to stop Block Dragon, you're playing it to stop everything.
Yeah. Just... I don't know, man.
I don't get it.
There was no reason to block. There's no reason to ban it or limited it. It was really bad.
Somebody was saying, like, they were doing it to push Triple Tactics talent, and I don't agree with that, because people were already playing Triple Tactics at 3, either in the main or the side, in everything.
I don't even like that comparison, because one is reactive and one is preventative.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if I hand trap you, let's say I hand trap your Pendulum Call.
Right.
You're still, sure, you get to draw those 2 cards, but I've still stopped your 2-card search that was way more important, most likely.
Yeah.
Like, getting...
It adds Iris Magician! Oh, no!
Yeah. We'll get to that. Drawing 2 random cards, that's still okay. That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But searching 2 specific cards...
So much better.
Much better.
So much better.
Speaking of Pendulum Call, searching 2 specific cards, I wanted Joker... Iris, and Monkey Board, but we got one of the 3. It's okay. It's probably the worst of the 3, to tell the truth.
Yeah. Well, Monkey Board's probably going to stay banned for a long time.
Existed 1.
I don't. And the only reason I don't is because I don't like 1-card Pendulum Scales. But then again,
fair.
Plushfire was a card, and we're going to get Plushfire back at some point. Maybe. I hope not.
I'm holding on to my OTS Monkey Board just because I really hope it comes back.
Oh, that's something did you see the OTS reveals?
I did. We can talk about that quick.
I want Ulti Nibiru.
Yeah. Double Iris.
Yeah.
A lot of people very quickly thought it was gonna like revolutionize Pendulum Magician.
No, they're
It's not.
morons.
You can't activate its pop effect on your first turn.
No.
Even if you have a Dark Spellcaster, you can't conduct your battle phase, thus you can't activate the effect. Which means it's almost pointless turn 1 to search it out. Why wouldn't I search out Celestial Magician, which is an infinitely better high scale?
In turn one, yeah, or even Black Fang. Black Fang is still searchable by most of the cards, and it's still a much better high scale.
I agree with you.
As long as Astrograph isn't legal. Please don't make Astrograph legal.
Let's say I've got my Ignister of Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, and they destroy it, and Celestial Magician just brings it right back for free.
Yep.
Like,
and then you get to use its non-hard once per turn effect.
Yeah.
Twice.
There was a game I was playing when I was playing Endymion Magician where I had Time Star Magician, and then the rest were Pendulum monsters. Mighty Masters, Jackal King, that sort of thing. They Lightning Storm me. I used the effect of Time Star Magician to save all my Pendulum monsters.
A lot of people don't know it has that effect.
Time Star gets destroyed. Celestial Magician brings it back for free, and I used Pendulum Call, so he didn't even pop himself, and he just quit immediately.
Well, yeah, because it's broken. Well, not broken, but in that specific scenario.
$120 to do nothing.
Nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Materials. That's all he did.
Yeah.
He took the, what are they called? Overlay units?
Yeah.
Off of my Time Star Magician for $120. I understand why he was upset.
Yeah. But yeah, anybody who thought that Iris coming back to 1 was going to be insane, I just, like, it changes the way Pendulum plays very minorly. It gives a nice boost and payoff if, like, turn 3 you haven't done anything yet. Just blind second and play a lot of spells. It'll be fine.
Second, and you use Double Iris, you're searching the trap. It's too damn slow. You can't use it then.
Yeah, anyway. What else came back? Bardiche came back. I called it. Yeah. I still think the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic should be banned along with it, but that's just because I have PTSD from Orchist.
Yes.
And they're not even using it.
Yeah, I know. The new Orchist, what they're doing now, they're still using Bardiche and stuff.
Yeah. But they just go single Fogblade and special Shade Brigandine to go into Verte for Dragoon, which... Yeah.
Yep. Don't so much need the Rank Up Magic now.
No, you have Dragoon. You just slap down a Tower's boss monster with a Destruction ability and a Negate and just say, have fun.
Yeah.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fair and balanced.
Yep. There's a lot of crazy stuff coming down the pipe. And it kind of makes Dragoon not look so bad.
Yeah, Team APS on Twitter, Paul, said, I think it was either him or Nim or somebody that I follow said, crazy how Dragoon was supposed to be this format warping card, and all the decks that are at the top that could use it just aren't. Like, Dragon Link has dropped it already. Because that entire deck is all gas, and you get 3 bricks. Why would you do it?
Why put in those 3 bricks?
Yeah.
Like, somebody was trying to do a Sky Striker build with it. Why?
Well, it doesn't work. You like, what are you going to do? Send it away with multi-roll? Like, why?
You're turning off your Widow Anchors, your Shark Cannons. Like,
yeah, you're turning off all your best disruption. You're turning off all your best disruption pieces. Sorry, Judgment is not enough.
It's a terrible idea.
Unless you play, like, Dynamicious, Goes in Mat, like, unless you're playing a super trap-heavy build and only a couple recycling of Widow Anchor and Shark Cannon. Widow Anchor's at 3. Just play it.
Yeah, it's so good.
We were right about that, too, by the way.
Yep. I'm so glad I initially got those just as cheap impermanence.
Yeah.
For Utopic Zexal, who I thought was going to be a problem with the Numerons, but never was.
Because the Numerons are garbage. Don't play Numeron.
Then I ended up buying the entire Sky Striker deck, and now it's my main, like, if I'm going to play a strictly meta deck, that's what I'll bring.
Yeah. Nim got day 2 at the LCS with Sky Striker, and the only reason, well, he might have lost anyway, because he was playing against Shuping Zhu, but he got to day 2 with Striker X2.
It's very
Pretty
good.
good. He
Solid
didn't
deck.
know. He didn't know that Rose isn't out to Dragoon. He didn't know. He said in his profile, in his video that went up, I think earlier today. We're recording October 6th. He said, I have no main deck out to Dragoon. I'm like, look at your red. You look at your 2 of right there. Look at Rose. Read it. It's right there.
Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read cards.
That's true.
We established it.
That's true. I'm a judge. I have to read the cards. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Nothing else really like PK Fire looks really good now.
Yeah, it's still. I think it's still like a rogue tier deck at best.
Yeah, right now it is. The Phantom Knight stuff could change it.
There's stuff coming down the pipes, man.
Yeah, tier scale. By the way, I didn't tell you this while we were off camera, but tier scale, just by itself, you can make Isolde and Cherubini without using either of their effects.
Sounds fair.
Very. The single normal summon gets you 2 busted Link 2s.
Brutal.
That's great. And then you just...
Blue-Eyed Josh is going to be happy. He's our resident Phantom Knights player.
Oh, then he's known about this for a while. Because that card's
he's
insane.
the only one that's excited.
I believe it. All right, let's move on to our actual topic, what we're here to talk about. So, you guys have already read in the title, we're talking about elitism in both casual and meta spheres. Nobody is safe. You all do it. We know you do it. And I've got some stories. But what are your experiences with this? I know you mostly play casual, right?
But
meta-ized.
Yeah. I will play weird decks in meta and build my weird decks to stop the meta.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, when I was a little kid, when I first started getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, before I became too cool to play Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't experience any of that stuff because I was just too young.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was coming back into the game, I think just after Goki format, so like Firewall Dragon had just gotten banned when I came back into the game.
Oh, you came at a very good time. I don't ever want to be Trickstar Firewall looped again.
I just went with my friend Dylan, who he's Wham Bam Quasar Man. He topped his very first regional he ever went to with a Quasar deck in 2019. Or sorry, 2020.
Nice.
Yeah, like right before the ban list where
Respect.
Electromite and Servant got hit, he topped with Quasar.
Wow. Was he doing the what's that Synchron card? The broken junk speeder.
No, too slow.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
He came up with this weird concoction, and it was even before Master Rule 5.
Damn.
So yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
He is the person who originally got me back into it because the idea of links sounded really interesting to me. Like, it put another layer of strategy, having to be concerned where my monsters go.
Mm-hmm.
So I got back in, as most people do, trying to play the same deck I did when I was a kid. So I was like, give me a Dark Magician deck. It's what I'm familiar with, whatever. And this is completely not a Dark Magician deck that I ever remember. But, like, I got it. Circle, navigation.
Yep.
None of it was too complicated. And we go, and people are just, like, making fun of us. Look at these guys in their Dark Magician deck. My friend is still playing Quasar. Quasar is his favorite deck. He's always trying to play Quasar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now he's playing Necros Quasar because they banned his Priestess. But anyways, someone is disrespecting him to the point where they're not even watching what he's doing. And Dylan ends up OTKing him with Quasar, attacking twice per game.
Yep. I believe it.
So we never actually went back after that for quite a long time because of how we were treated. We just felt it was a very, like, toxic place. We didn't want to go there to be, like, bullied, essentially.
Yep.
We're adults. I don't want to put up with it. I got out of high school a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to go through that crap again.
So very gradually, like a year later, I think, maybe more, we decided to go back and, like, test the waters.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole attitude had changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if all those people were gone. I don't know what the difference was, but we were immediately welcomed. People were helping us. Um, I remember like that's just when Endymion had come out, and I love that deck because it's based on a Greek myth. So I picked that up. People were helping me with pendulum builds and like all that kind of stuff. Completely 180 from what it was before.
That's very surprising. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it was nutty.
I wonder
People
if they
just
had like a change in ownership and the owner was like, "Yeah, if I hear that crap from you, you're just getting banned from the store."
maybe. But that was my only experience with being like having meta players talk down to me for not playing a meta deck, and it's not pleasant. It's not
No,
pleasant.
it's so dumb. Just this mindset of you're not playing what I like playing. How dare I don't understand it.
And it works the other way. Casual players saying like all meta decks are
You're meta sheep.
meta sheep, or
Yep.
you don't have to think to play Dragon Link, for example.
Yep.
It's just regurgitating the same thing. But is it?
It's not. It's people
Yeah,
that see the same end boards all the time and just think it's this super linear. Now, granted, there are combo decks that are very linear,
yeah.
but when you're playing a deck
Sounding.
that's how many ever extenders, you have to know how does this extender work best and where am I going, and then fit the pieces from there.
Yeah, and that. And then if your opponent disrupts you, you have to change course on a dime
Mm-hmm.
and know exactly where to go and what to
Yep.
do now. Um, so there's nothing wrong with either group except for their fighting of each other.
Yes.
Um, I love playing fun meta decks where goofy things happen, like people summon Quasar and Blazar, or someone, I don't know, playing Phantom Knights now. I would much enjoy those games. I play Speedroids for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I enjoy those games more than sitting there and doing my Dragon Link combo for like the 40th time, or seeing somebody go into Link Cross and then make two tokens
And
and then make Metal
Metal
March.
Marcher. And, yep.
I enjoy that a lot more, but I still enjoy the challenge of a more meta based matchup. So
Yeah.
there's good and bad to both sides, and they really just need to stop bickering.
Honestly, yeah, and I 100% agree. Like I'm a very analytical mind, so the deck building and card choice proportions of building a meta deck, I really like doing. I like reviewing topping lists and being like, okay, why is this card choice the way it is? Well, how does this help you? Does it get you closer to your win con? Like all those things. So I play meta mostly. Oh, and I keep
Yeah.
track of meta mostly. I haven't played a casual deck in like 6 years. But granted, most of oh no, that's not true. Well,
You
okay,
play Evil Eye, sir.
fair. No, but when I say I haven't played it, I mean like in an event. But I played
Okay, that's
World Chalice at Pasadena 2018 long after it won. So
okay.
like I played it when Firewall was still legal. Like
You said something there that was very interesting when
mhm.
you're talking about examining topping decks.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of casual people that I've talked to, this is obviously not speaking for everybody.
Mhm.
They say like, "Oh, you only changed 3 cards and you topped." No, no, no. What you should be saying is they changed 3 cards and they topped. So why did those 3 cards mean the difference between him topping and everyone else
Yeah.
topping using that meta deck?
Yeah.
So
So I can actually give a really really good example for this. And you did not play during Zoo format, right?
no,
Okay.
no,
So before the fusion sub combo, and if anybody Googles fusion sub zoo combo, you'll understand what I mean. That came out of one event. Nobody was playing it before one event, and he blew out the field. And then like Zodiac was already really really good, and it was still topping. But as
yeah,
soon as the fusion sub combo is a +4, as soon as people realized that, and you could end with Drident and just constantly recycling things with multiple Daigusto Emerald and then they added Shelfer Reborn into the mix to keep doing it. The deck got insane. Like they banned Emerald because of Zodiac. They banned Norden because of Zodiac. Instant Fusion was limited because of Zodiac. I mean, granted, Instant Fusion was going to end up limited anyway. But I digress. They changed 2 cards. 2 cards in the main deck. And then they added in Norden and multiple Emeralds. That was not a thing. But the main deck was Fusion Sub and Shuffle Reborn. And it went from tier 1 to tier 0 as soon as that happened. So just changing two cards, changing two cards means nothing. The impact of those cards and those card choices, thinking creatively, is what took the deck to the next step. So you can see this certain list and like, oh, they just changed two cards. You just took somebody else's topping list. Whatever. No, that's the wrong way to think about it. That's absolutely the wrong way to think about it.
Why did they change those two cards?
Bingo.
Yeah. Like, how many Sky Striker decks are going to be identical? One guy has two things that are different, and he tops. Well, why did he top? Because he changed those cards, whatever they might be.
It could also be he's just a better player. I mean, that's certainly possible.
Always that too.
Yeah. But yeah, I 100% agree. So I have a story as well about people being terrible. So the only locals that I've ever been to was in 2014, and you were not playing at this time, so everything that I'm about to say might be gibberish. But this was during Spellbook Bujin format, if you remember what either of those two are.
I know Spellbooks because I played them as meta in Duel Links.
Right. So, and this is full power. I mean, Judgment was still at 3. Fate, I think, had just gotten limited, maybe. But as far as I'm aware, full power. Maybe minus the 2 Fate. And I brought Dark World. 2 years past its prime. Like, Grapha was not as good a card as it used to be because they would just protect the castle with Yamato and then slap down a Kaiser Coliseum and win. And then Spellbook would just go through these 90 loop turns, accumulating all this advantage with Judgment, and then saying, have fun. Like, so I came with that, and the first time I went was, okay, I should say I've been twice, but to the same locals. So the first time I went, it wasn't like a Saturday tournament. It was a midday, it was like a Wednesday. So there wasn't as many people there, and it was okay. I mean, I got a little bit of jest for playing Dark World. I was like, it's just what I know how to play. And most people were like, okay. So Spellbook of Judgment, and then I would lose every game. But the Saturday tournament that I went a week and a half later. I remember this very specifically because you still did the whole OTS things. You got packs for participating, although they didn't have OTS packs at the time. They were doing, at least this store was doing the most recent set, the packs of the most recent set, and I don't remember what it was. But it was okay. I mean, I paid $20 or 20. I paid $5 and got a pack, and cool. First match I step up to was apparently this dude who was like a veteran of the shop, and nobody really liked the guy. He was a total rule shark. Blah blah blah. I almost beat him, but yeah, it was a Dark Lord mirror actually, which was kind of
interesting.
Yeah, he was playing Caius and a bunch of things that like Deck Devastation Virus and stuff that I wasn't playing. So he's like, "You're playing such an inferior. Why are you playing this garbage deck?" And I remember that very specifically when I sat down, or after the match was over, I should say. Like I picked up all my stuff and I was just talking to him about the deck. He's like, "You're playing such a garbage deck." Like, and I was, "You're playing it too." He's like, "No, I'm playing actual Dark World. You're playing garbage Dark World." Although I did learn something from him. I put Fabled Raven into the deck after that. It's the only helpful thing he had. Very next one, I played against a guy that was Bujin, and he just quit. Like, mid game 2. Like, I won the first game because he didn't know what Dark World did, and I just kept beating him with Grapha because he hadn't set up the proper lock with Yamato yet, and I just kept poking it. Sure. And then game 2, he's like, "I don't play against casual players," and then just left. And he's like, "Take the round." I was so confused. I was like, okay. I lost the rest of the tournament, but those 2 games specifically were very like, what is the vitriol?
I don't get it. I call guys like that sweaties because they try so hard they sweat.
It's true. They have the vein bulging in the temple and
yeah, that's where I came. Yeah. So have you ever watched The Matrix? Do you remember Squiddies?
Don't get mad at me. I've never watched The Matrix.
Okay, so The Matrix had these like, they look kind of like octopus robots, and they called them Squiddies because they look like squid, and that's why I said it's sweaties because their veins look like the tentacles.
And then, yeah, I mean, I will say there is one aspect about the meta community that really bothers me, and I don't see it in the casual community, maybe because the casual community is too worried with their own problems. But the meta community, basically, it boils down to this. Either you're playing the best deck, or you're playing a deck that can beat the best deck. And the people that only play the best deck of the format, whether they like the deck or not, by the way, whether they like playing in the format or not, they just like to win, so they'll play whatever. Like they'll basically go down the neck of everybody, go down the throat of anybody who's not playing like Dragon Link. Like right now, I think Dragon Link's the best deck. I don't think it's close, but that's my opinion, and I think it's correct. But again, my opinion. Somebody else could think Infernoble's the best deck. I really don't know how they would come to that conclusion, but like the Dragon Link player will just berate the person that's playing Infernoble for playing Infernoble. And I'm like, why do you care? One,
Yeah.
it's one less Dragon Link mirror you have to play. Like, and two, they're playing the deck that they like and that they're winning with. Like, why does it bother you so much? That's one thing, and that does not exist in the casual community that I've seen. It's like, oh, you're not playing Speedroid? Why are you playing Sylvan, filthy casual? Like, I don't see that.
As long as you're not playing a meta deck.
Yeah. Which that's a problem too.
Yeah, it all boils down to like what somebody else is playing shouldn't matter to you. Like obviously outside of the context of the game you have to have against them. Like obviously if they're playing Speedroids, that matters because you have to play against him. But after that, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't impact their life at all. So
No.
I don't understand either way. I don't understand the attitude.
I don't get it. In YCS Pasadena 2018, my first round was against like a 13, 14-year-old kid, and it was first ever YCS. And I was like, "Oh, hey, dude, that's cool. Me too." And I was playing World Chalice, and I blew him out because Time Lords are terrible. But afterwards, I just stayed, and I was like, "Cool deck. What did the Time Lords actually do? I've never played against this deck before." And then we spent 10 minutes talking about Time Lords, and he's like, "I really like these World Chalice cards. They seem really, really good." I was like, "They're all right." I mean, they're good, but it bricks a lot. And then we talked about the game in general, and it was fine. Like,
Yeah.
I played a more meta deck, I guess, if you will. It was certainly more meta than Time Lords. And we were fine. And we were fine. Like, we just talked about the game. We talked about our decks. We went on our way. And then I went X3 drop. Like, it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did too, so it's completely irrelevant. I was playing a more meta deck. He was playing a more rogue casual deck. Same result. Like, it doesn't bother me.
There's like, I think the competition and stuff like that brings out the worst in humanity when they're like that.
I agree.
It's rough. But I want to end on a positive. So we concur that the bickering should stop, and it sucks, but it's not going to stop because people are people.
Of course.
But I want to end on a positive note. So at my last locals in Regina, because I moved to Winnipeg, not literally the last one, just last one I could go to.
Right, yeah. I know what you mean.
There was a kid that came in, his name is Philip, and he just had a box of anime cards, and he's going to try and play the tournament. And I was like, oh man, this kid's about to get wasted. So I went and got him the Order of the Spellcaster structure deck.
That's very cool.
Just play with this. You're going to have a better time. And then there was another guy, Ryan, who played the same deck. He came over and was like, here, take these. Gave the kid a few more cards. Then my friend Brian came over and gave him a mat. Like, this kid ended up leaving with a plethora of half-built deck, mats, everything.
That's very cool.
So nice to him. And this is a bunch of adults just trying to welcome the new kid in. And Philip still goes to this day.
That's awesome. That's very cool to hear.
He wasn't bullied for playing Dark Magician.
Yeah. And I will say, I think that kind of mindset, the casual versus competitive, it's still there for sure. And I'm sure if you looked around the statement I'm about to say, you could disprove it easily. But the circles that I choose to maintain, there's not quite so much of that toxic behavior. So I like to think that that Yu-Gi-Oh in general is heading in a more positive direction.
I would hope so. I think society hopefully is heading into a more positive
Yeah,
direction.
more broadly speaking, for sure.
Um, Speaking of, I'm gonna to add to that story.
Mm-hmm.
So in his box of cards, he had super polymerization
Mm-hmm.
before it was reprinted to death. We were like, "Where did you get this?" And he was like, "From a dollar store pack." And I was like, "Put this in your
Whoa.
deck." And
Damn.
he's playing the mirror match, and I gave him super poly targets when I figured out that he had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting next to him, and now everybody's watching him because he's the last person still playing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a crowd, they've all gathered now, and they're all watching him. And he goes to pass his turn, and I was like, "Can I help him?" And his opponent was like, "Sure, he's a kid." I was like, "Use your face down card." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Take his monsters." He's like, I can use his? Yes. He flips over the super poly, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, he's got super poly." And everyone starts cheering for him.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And in that moment, he's only lived like an 8-minute match, which is for a kid is like half your life. So it was the biggest moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a complete opposite experience of what I got when I first went.
Yeah, basically, you wish you could have gotten that, right?
Yeah. Except,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not in a jealousy way, just in a I wish more people would treat others this way, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really good to see a whole shop of people come around and help the new kid.
Yeah.
And even take an L from his super poly.
Yeah. Like, but poor opponent, but you know what? Excellent sportsmanship. Like, you take a loss at a locals to a kid. I mean, if it happens and he beats you fair and square, like, he's a kid, you know. It happens.
Yeah. Like, I don't, I even feel bad, like, playing full power against the kid. I'll ask, like, can I switch decks against the kid? Just to, like,
not destroy him.
Sit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to sit there and watch the Dragon Link deck tear your, I don't know, Performer Pal deck apart.
Yeah.
Like, just rip them a new one.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
No, it's not fun.
So I try and, like, not go ham against kids. Use cards like Super Poly against kids. It's a little bit...
Yeah.
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 You gotta not discourage new players, because if you discourage new players and they don't come back,
the game dies.
The game doesn't continue.
The game dies.
Yeah. There's only so many, like, 40-year-olds still playing the game.
Yeah.
And if you kill off the new generation, then...
You have no game.
Yeah. Eventually, we're all going to be Jeff Reynolds, or...
Leonard.
Whatever his name is. Leonard. Jeff Leonard. But eventually, even he's going to have to stop.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't just bully these people. And I think both sides need to realize that. If a new player wants to come in and play meta, the casual people can't shit on him.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the casual people. If this kid was just like, I want to win worlds. I want the best deck. I want to play the best deck all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to win. I want to be world champion. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be world champion.
No, not at all.
So either goal, to just sit there and have fun, to be world champion, somewhere in between. Like me, if I go to Worlds and it's in, like, a country I want to visit, like Brazil or something, I'm not actually going.
Yeah.
I would get my... I think if you qualify for Worlds, you get to fly.
It depends, but yeah.
They'd fly me out there. They'd be like, "Leo, it's time for your matchup. Where is he?" I think he's still at the beach.
I'm still looking at Jesus.
Yeah, like, I would love to go to Worlds, but you know,
yeah,
I like to play my silly decks.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Ignister Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, is my current boss monster.
It's a pretty good boss monster, limited for a reason.
Pretty good. It's not Dragoon.
No.
I'm keeping track of how many times I've used Ignister's spin effect to out Dragoon, and the current count is at 7.
Yeah. It is non-targeting, shuffle it away. It's lib on steroids for Pendulum.
And they cry.
They're like,
I've seen people put out just Dragoon. Like, they put out just Dragoon, and they
and
seem
then
to think
and you're like, I'm about to end this man's whole career.
Draco Face-Off, man. It's a hell of a card. So in one of the games, for example, I'm playing this guy, and in game 1, I brick hard, and I've got 2 high scales and 2 monsters, and then the Goliath. So, like, I have no spell cards. So I set my scales, I pendulum summon the 2 monsters, normal summon the Goliath, and he goes, oh. So game 2, and I'm like, okay.
And you're not getting it off of you're not getting it off of spheres, so it's a full 2200 attack. Or Goliath, or Sloth or Goliath, because Goliath is what, 27?
Yeah, Goliath is 29.
That's a big boy.
Then in game 2, he makes Dragoon and essentially passes. I don't know what he has face down or anything like that, or if it would even bother me. But I managed to bait out his negation. I use Face Off. Face Off summons the Luster Pendulum. Normal summon the Dark Worm. Spin back his Dragoon, and he just goes like, slams his cards down and walks off.
Yeah, so you're like, you see Dragoon, you go, oh no. Anyway,
Like,
so Draco Face Off?
Yeah. Very good. I would love for that to come back to 3.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I have no idea why it was limited. It was limited when I started playing.
Draco Pals for sure. Like, it was probably banned during the whole Pendulum era.
Probably.
Disgusting. Like, I've researched that deck, even though I never got to play it. I never want to play against it, ever.
Yeah, I can imagine why.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody shot a video where they're talking about like their biggest L's when it comes to finances and investing in cards. And he's like, yeah, I bought the entire Pepe deck, and by the time it got to me, it was banned.
Oh no.
So he paid like competitive meta prices for it, and then like it's banned. That's a huge L.
Dude, that hurts.
Gotta feel for him.
That wasn't me, and that hurts. Poor guy, man. Oh,
but
that's
We're
painful.
gonna leave on that agonizing note and say, let's be better as a community to each
Absolutely.
other.
Yeah, the entire point of this is whatever sphere you find yourself in. Like I weave in and out of that line. I'll play Evil Eye and I'll play Evil Eye and I'll play Dragon Link. I mean, I don't really want to play Dragon Link, but like I'll play like Infernoble. Like I'd play Infernoble.
Yeah.
Infernoble seems fun, but there's a format problem. I don't like filling a deck with 14 hand traps, but that's beside the point. Just
we can talk about that in another episode.
We can totally do that. But my entire point is this. Don't be an asshole. Like, just people, you don't know why people are playing this game. People use this game as an escape for real life. People use this game to forge friendships. And like talking down to people while they have a vision for this game that you don't agree with is just, it's the ultimate kind of like being the worst kind of person. It's just you're being intentionally awful to people when it's completely unnecessary. Just put yourself in somebody else's shoes for a little bit and imagine if you were in their situation, would it hurt? And then don't say it. Just keep it to yourself.
It seems like really cliche to say, but like I said earlier, if for the 5 minutes you're playing against this guy, that's when it matters. After that, you walk away, like whatever he's playing just doesn't matter. Like just let people play what they want to play regardless, and be nice to new people that come in.
Yeah,
it's really important.
It's really not hard to do.
Because Konami itself isn't nice to new players. Have you seen ways to introduce people in Pokemon?
No.
It's ridiculous what they'll do. They have pamphlets and flyers, and they have free card days. They give away free mats. everything to encourage new people to come in, and we don't get any of that from Konami.
Yeah, that's an episode idea.
Yeah, let's
How
do
this
that.
game is unfriendly to new players, because that's absolutely, the game itself is having a problem with getting new players. Especially, I mean, COVID hasn't helped, but
Yeah.
it's gonna come back to bite Konami. Like, give it 5-10 years, it's gonna be a problem.
When all the Jeffs are gone.
When all the Jeffs are gone. That's what I'm gonna title that episode. Yeah, do you have any last minute things other than that before we wrap this up?
Really, be nice to people.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Try and stay happy.
Exactly. As I say on my other podcast, don't be a dick, survive 2020. And with that, we're going to end episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I like these kind of long forms conversations about the game. We're going to keep doing this. If you guys haven't subscribed to Yu-Gi-Leoh already, which I'm sure you have, because he puts out amazing content all the time. His content is constantly improving. So this is somebody you should watch for. Make sure you go ahead. I'll have it linked in the description. Go ahead and give him a subscribe and say I sent you. If you haven't subscribed to me, Captain YGO, go ahead and do that. Please, I would encourage you to. Go follow me on Twitter at Captain YGO. What's your Twitter?
Everything is Leo London 23. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You should be able to find me on all 3 platforms as Leo London 23. That's my wrestling name. I am a professional wrestler as well. Yeah, feel free to get in touch with me and chat. Yeah, as long as you're not a dick, like we've been saying.
You'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna be the end for this. Go ahead and comment what your favorite deck is. What are you guys enjoying playing right now? And with that, this is Leo London. This is the Captain. We're signing off. See you guys later.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
All right. Do you?